Hola a todos! On this channel we talk a lot about time management and how to get a lot of things done, how to be efficient, how to get a lot of things into your day, basically. And when we talk about time management and things to get done, it's often about getting done. So the focus is basically on the result. So we want to get as much result out of our day as we can. But what we often forget in this discussion is that there are things that we just do. It's not about the result. It's about just the process and how we spend our time. So let's look at a few examples. So there are clear getting done things. So to write a report, you want a report. You want the report done and give it to somebody. Cleaning the windows, you want clean windows. You want the result. Or doing the tax declaration. You want to do this so you don't get into trouble and you're done with it. Well, these are usually things that we do because we are after a certain result and want to have these results in our hands, more or less. And then there are other things that we just do because we do them. And that could be taking a nap, or watching TV, or meeting friends, just spending time, spending quality time. And the fun thing is that the first thing, those things that we just get done, is stuff that we want to be quick on. We want the result, and we want it quickly so that we can get as many results as we can. But those things that we just do are things that we actually want to spend time on. We want to extend them as long as we can, as long as we have time until the getting done things come back and want to get done. So these are basically two different types of things that we can spend our time on. And the one is really just to shorten the time as much as we can to be efficient. And the other is the opposite. We don't want to be efficient. We want to enjoy the time we put into those things that we are doing. And of course, there are things in between, like exercising for me is a classic. So you can exercise because it feels good to you at the moment you're exercising, maybe afterwards. Or you can do it because you want to build strength. You want to, achieve a certain result, be able to run a certain distance maybe, or maybe you want to lose weight, all of these things. So it's kind of in between. There can be many reasons why you exercise. Or even reading a book. It can be quality time just to sit there, read your book, enjoy it. Or you might read the book because you want a certain type of knowledge, you want to learn things, or you want to be on top of things, you want to talk to your friends about this new novel or something like that. So in many cases, it's somewhere in between. And that is also something that's interesting. Maybe in many cases, we can even choose what it is. When you think about it, the things we do is something we want to spend time on, and that's fun. We want to extend it, basically. While the things we get done is usually the things we just get it over with. Maybe sometimes we can use this idea of doing more for the getting done things. So focusing more on the process than on the result. So I have one recent example. So I was installing a lamp, and that was really an awful lamp. So the cables were a little bit too short. That came out of the wall. That was not the fault of the lamp. But the lamp was a bit of a weird construction. You didn't have really screws to get the cables in. You had to kind of just stick them in and then put some cap on it and screw that on. And until you had done that, the cables were all over the place. So it was a disaster. And first of all, I was in the getting done mood. I want to get that lamp on the ceiling so I have light. I had a clear goal. I wanted to get this done, and I wanted to get it done quickly because I had other lamps to get on. So I was there, and this lamp just didn't cooperate. And I was getting angry, so that was really a mood where I was at the point of almost smashing that lamp. That would have been efficient, really, so it would have been an end. But instead of doing that, I switched into the doing mode. So I just took a deep breath and thought about, other people spend money on these kind of puzzles where to train your dexterity. So I had that for free. And so I really saw it as a kind of, okay, calm down. It takes as long as it takes. Enjoy the ride and use it as a little bit of a puzzle. And it did work. I'm proud of it. And so you can sometimes reinterpret those things instead of focusing on the result to focus more on the process. And you can do that for many things. Like when you think about the report you have to write. I know many people who would love to write a novel. I don't know why. Actually, I'm kind of one of them, but I know that I don't have the time. So I understand it. So yeah, many people want to write a novel. You have to write something. You have to write a report. Use the time to work on your style. Look how you pick your words. I mean, you're even paid for that. Isn't that great? So use the time to develop your skills maybe. Or cleaning the windows. It's exercise. Other people pay for their fitness studio. You don't have to do that. You don't have to pay for the gym. You get it for free. Just clean your windows. I have a bit of a problem reinterpreting the tax declaration. So if anybody has a good idea there, please leave me a comment. I would love to know how you can enjoy the process of doing your tax declaration. It doesn't work for everything, but for many things. And there are more reasons why you should often just focus more on the process than on the result. So when you go for results, you don't exactly know what you get. And as humans, we have a lot of imagination, and we often imagine how great it will be once we have done it, once we have achieved it. So let's say in your job, you go for a promotion, you want to achieve that promotion. And at some point, maybe you get it. But maybe it's not quite what you expected. Maybe, whatever you expected. You have more power, you earn more money, that's great. But maybe at the end of the day, it doesn't make you as happy as you thought. That can often happen. And so when you focus just on the result and you sacrifice the doing, the things that you really enjoy doing, meeting people, laying in your hammock, if you sacrifice all of that, just going for the result, it's a bad deal often because you have sacrificed good things for getting something that turns out to be not that great. So best thing is to combine the two. That's great if you can manage that. Or sometimes shortcut and just do the things you want to do, the doing things before like just doing the result. So for me, it's often a question also of priorities. I don't know why, but the getting things done things, so the things that aim at a result, I often prioritize them higher. For some reason, they seem to have a higher value for me. And what I actually do is that I write the doing things also on my to-do list now. So it's really taking time to have a nap. That can end up on my to-do list because when I know the things on my to-do list are important, and so it basically has the same priority more or less as the other things on the to-do list. So it goes in competition with the tax declaration. And when I then look at my to-do list, like, what would I actually prefer to do? Then it's pretty easy. So make room also for the doing things. So you're not just hanging on the result because maybe it's not even worth it. You don't know that before. And if you can enjoy the process, why not take it with you in one way or another, either by redefining the task itself or taking time for things that you just do without expecting a result. And also when you think about this doing versus the result or the process, the result is usually just a point in time and you may be very happy about that result. You have done it, you have achieved something, you feel successful, but that usually doesn't last very long. While the process is a duration, it takes a certain time to get you to that point. So maybe if you focused more on the process, you would just have more time that you enjoy. And maybe this is really the measure you should consider more. The time of the day or the time of our lives, depending on how you count, that we spend in an enjoyable way. So we often try to optimize somehow to get as many things done as we could, to make as many check to check as many tasks as we can from our to-do list. And this is kind of the measure. How much did I get done? But is that the best measure to measure your success? Maybe it's more about how much time did I spend today in an agreeable way? Maybe that's the thing we should optimize for. So try to make space for both of these things. So observe yourself. What are the things that, which things are you doing just to get the result? What are things that you just would like to spend maybe more time on? What are things in between? And how do you personally prioritize them? What is more important to you? Do you give yourself enough time for doing things? And maybe do you give yourself enough time for getting things done? I mean, there's nothing wrong with achieving results. It's just the balance that we should find. And everybody will define that balance in a different way. But I think it makes a lot of sense to think about it at least and be conscious about how much time you spend on achieving results and how much time you spend on just enjoying the ride, either towards a result or maybe without a result. That's just as fine. So try to figure it out for yourself and have fun with that. And I see you next time. Hasta luego.